All right, people, I'm talking about Job today. I'm on the fourth chapter. This is when one of his friends, I'm not going to read all of it, but I'm going to read a little to let you know what's going on. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, if we essay to commute with thee, wilt thou be grieved? But who can withhold himself from speaking? But thou hast instructed many, and thou hast strengthened the weak hands. Thy words have upholden him that was fallen, and thou hast strengthened the feeble knees. But now it's come upon thee, and thou faintest. It toucheth thee, and thou art troubled. Now these are comforters. They don't understand. They ain't lost this. Is it not this thy fear, thy confidence, thy hope, and the uprightness of thy ways? Remember, I prayed thee, whoever perished being innocent, or were the righteous cut off, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. Here they are. I go through this too, and you go through it too. You did something wrong. It's your fault that's going through your life. Some cases, that may be the case. But in Job's case, that was not the case. But that's what they're telling him. By the blast of God, they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. The roaring of the lion and the voice of the fierce lion, and the teeth of the young lions are broken. The old lion perisheth for lack of prey, and the stout lion's whelp are scattered abroad. Now a thing was secretly brought to me, and my ear received a little thereof. And thoughts from the vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth on me, fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones to shake. Then a spirit passed before my face. The hair of my flesh stood up. Wow, sound familiar? You ever go through moments like that? When it feel like something is in the room with you? The Bible talks about it. It stood still, but I could not discern the form thereof. An image were before my eyes. There was silence, and I heard a voice saying, shall mortal man be more just than God? Shall a man be more pure than his maker? But he put no trust in his servant, and his angels he charged with folly. How much less is them that dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, which are crushed before the mouth? They are destroyed from morning to evening. They perish forever without any regarding it. Doth not their excellence which is in them go away? They die even without wisdom. Call now, if there be any that will answer thee, and to which of the saints wilt thou turn? For wrath killeth the foolish man, and envy slayeth the silly one. I have seen the foolish taken root, but suddenly I cursed his habitation. His children are far from safety, and they are crushed in the gate. Not is there any to deliver them, whose harvest the hungry eateth up, and taketh it. Even out of the thorns and the robber swalloweth up their substance. Although affliction cometh not forth of the dust, neither doth not trouble spring out of the ground. Yet man is born into trouble as the sparks fly upwardly. Now they're saying some true things in here. They're saying some true things. They're not necessarily down badmouthing God. They're not using the right wording at the moment. You know that towards the end. Yet a morning is born into trouble as the sparks fly over. I would seek unto God, and unto God would I commit my cause. But they one of these people that never went through nothing. But Job is. But the thing is, they knew Job's character. They knew how he was when he lived. But yet here, just like people in your life, they're going to know what type of person you are. But when certain people start saying certain things to you and start you going through trouble, boy, you'll be surprised how those same people that know you will turn on you. They will, people. It happens. It's happened to me, and it will happen to you. I was seeking to God, and to God would I commit my cause, which doeth great things and unsearchable, marvelous things without number, who giveth rain upon the earth, and sendeth waters upon the fields. These are true things. To set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. They meet with darkness in the daytime, and grope it in noonday as in the night. But he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hands of the mighty. So the poor have hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. Behold, happy is the man who God correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastenings of the Almighty. They saying some good things. They are. For he maketh sore and bindeth up. He woundeth, and his hands make whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. You be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Now people are going to badmouth you. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation, and shalt not see it. Thou shalt know also that thy seed shall be great, and thine offspring is of the grass of the earth. Thou shalt come to thy grave in a full age, like as a shock of corn cometh in its season. Lo, this, we have searched it, so as it is, hear it, and know thou it for thy good. They saying some good things. They are. But Job answered and said, oh, that my grief were thoroughly weighed, and my calamity laid in the balances together. For now it will be heavier than the sand of the sea. Therefore my words are swallowed up. For the arrows of the Almighty are within me. The poison whereof drinketh up my spirit. The terrors of God do set themselves in array against me. Doth the wild ass break when he has grassed? Or loweth the ox over his fodder? Can get which is unsavory be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg? The thing that my soul refused to touch, or as my soul for meat. Oh, that may I have my request, and that God would grant me the thing that I long for. He want to die. Even then it would please God to destroy me, that he would let loose his hand and cut me off. Then should I have yet comfort. Yea, I would harden myself in sorrow. Let him not spare, for I have not concealed the words of the Holy One. What is my strength that I should hope? And what is my end that I should prolong my life? Is my strength the strength of stones, or is my flesh of brass? Is not my help in me? And is wisdom driven quite from me? To him that is afflicted, pity should be showed from his friend. Pity. 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 But he forsaketh the fear of the Almighty. My brethren have dealt deceitfully as a brook, and as the stream of brooks they pass away, which are backish by reason of their ice, and wherein the snow is hid. What time they wax warm, they vanish. When it is hot, they are consumed out of their place. The paths of their way are turned aside. They go to nothing and perish. The troops of Timor looked. The companies of Sheba waited for them. They were confounded because they had hope. They came thither, and were ashamed. For now you are nothing. You see my casting down and are afraid. Did I say, bring unto me, or give a reward for me of your substance? Look at Job. I ain't asked you for nothing. I just want comfort. That's it. Or deliver me from the enemy's hand, or redeem me from the hand of the mighty. Teach me, and I will hold my tongue, and cause me to understand where I have erred. How false were our right words. But what doth your arguing reprove? Do you imagine to reprove words, and the speeches of one that is desperate, which are as a wind? Ye overwhelm the fatherless, and you dig a pit for your friend. Now therefore be content, look upon me, for it is evident unto you if I lie. Return, I pray you, let it not be iniquity. Yea, return again, my righteousness. Isn't it? Is there iniquity in my tongue? Cannot my taste discern perverse things? Is there an appointed time for man upon earth? Are not his days also like the days of an hireling? As a serpent earnestly desireth a shadow, and as an hireling looketh for the reward of his work, so am I made to possess months of vanity, and wearisome nights are appointed to me. When I lie down, I say, when shall I rise? And the night be gone, and I am full of tossing to and fro until the dawning of the day. This happens. This happens. My flesh is clothed with worms, and claws with dust. My skin is broken and become loathsome. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and are spent without hope. Oh, remember that my life is wind. My eyes shall no more see good. Now, Job saying some crazy stuff too, man. I ain't gonna see nothing. This is it for me. He think he's finna die. The eye of him that have seen me shall see me no more. And eyes are upon me, and I am not. As the cloud is consumed and vanisheth away, so he that goeth down to the grave shall come up no more. He shall return no more to his house. Neither shall his place know him anymore. Therefore I am not refrain my mouth. I'm not finna shut up. I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I think that's what happens when you go through hard times. You gotta talk. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. Why not? Am I a sea or a well that thou sittest a watch over me? When I say my bed shall comfort me, my couch shall cease my complaint, then thou scarest me with dreams and terrifies me with through visions. Ooh, sound familiar? Don't we all go through stuff like that? So that my chose choose of strangling and death rather than my life? I loathe it. I would not live always. Let me alone, for my days are vanity. Oh man, Proverbs. What is man that thou shouldest magnify him, and that thou shouldest set thine heart upon him, and that thou shouldest visit him every morning, and try him every moment? How long wilt thou not depart from me, nor let me alone till I swallow down my spittle? I have sinned. What shall I do unto thee, O thou perverser of men? Why hast thou set me as a mark against thee, so that I am a burden to myself? And why dost thou not pardon my transgression, and take away mine iniquity? For now shall I sleep in the dust, and thou shalt seek me in the morning, but I shall not be. Job he's mad. He's going through some things. We go through things like this all the time. All the time. You understand? All the time. Let me read a little bit more. Then another friend, then answered Bildad the Shuhite, and said, How long wilt thou speak these things? And how long shall the words of thy mouth be like a strong wind? Doth God pervert judgment? Or doth the Almighty pervert justice? If thy children have sinned against him, and he hath cast them away from their transgression, if thou wouldest seek unto God betimes, and make thy supplication to the Almighty, if thou wert pure and upright, surely now he would await for thee, and make thy habitation of thy righteousness prosperous. Now, one thing they said Job prayed for his children every day. The one thing is, people, we can't save our kids. Our kids got to be right with God themselves. But right here, there's a false accusation. He did this. He made supplication for his kids. What are they talking about? Though thy beginnings were small, yet thy latter end should greatly increase. Now, there might be a little truth into that. For inquire, I pray thee, for the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon earth are shadow. Shall not they teach thee, and tell thee in other words out of their heart? Can the rush grow up without mire? Can the flag grow without water? Was it yet in his greenness, and not cut down? It weareth before any other herb. So are the paths of all that forget God. And the hypocrite's hope perish. I mean, somebody talking to you like this, you best believe they directing it towards you. Whose hope shall be cut off, and whose trust shall be a spider's web. He shall lean upon his house, but it shall not stand. He shall hold it fast, but it shall not endure. He is green before the sun, and his branch shooteth forth in his garden. His roots are wrapped about the heap, and seeth the places of stone. If he destroy him from his place, then it shall deny him, saying, I have not seen thee. Behold, this is the joy of his way, and out of the earth shall others grow. Behold, God will not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help the evildoers, till he fill thy mouth with laughing, and thy lips with rejoicing. They that hate thee shall be clothed with shame, and the dwelling of place of the wicked shall come to naught. Then Job answered and said, I know it is so of a truth, but how should man be just with God? If we will contend with him, he cannot answer him, one of 1,000. He is a wise in heart, and mighty in strength, who have hardened themselves against him, and have prospered, which remove the mountains, and they know not, which overturneth them in his anger, which shaketh the earth out of her place, and the pillars thereof trembling, which commanded the sun, and it riseth, and sealeth up the stars. Oh, Job know what his maker is, and what his maker does, which alone spreadeth out the heavens, and treadeth upon the waves of the sea, which maketh Arcturus, Orion, and Pleiades, and the chambers of the south. He's talking about the stars now. For all you stargazers, who maketh them? Lord, God, which doeth great things past finding out, and wonders without number. Lo, he goeth by me, and I see him not. He passeth on also, but I receive him not. Behold, he taketh away, who can hinder him? Who would say unto him, What doest thou? If God would not withdraw his anger, the proud helpers do stoop under him. how much less shall I answer him, and choose out of my words to reason with him? Whom though I were righteous, yet would I not answer, but I would make supplication to my judge. What he said? I would make supplication to my judge. If I had called and he had answered me, yet would I not believe that he had hearkened to my voice. For he breaketh me in with a tempest, and multiply my wounds without cause. He will not suffer me to take my breath, but filleth me with bitterness. If I speak of strength, lo, he is strong. And if a judgment, who shall set me a time to plead? If I justify myself, my own mouth shall condemn me. If I say I'm perfect, it shall also prove me perverse. Though I were perfect, yet would I not know my soul. I would despise my life. This is one thing, therefore I said in it, he destroys the perfect and the wicked. Wow. You see, what they saying is like, only the wicked go through things like this. Job like, no, no, no. The wicked and the righteous go through things. Wow. If the scourge slay suddenly, he would laugh at the trial of the innocent. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Now my days are swifter than a post. They flee away. They see no good. They are passed away as the swift ships, as the eagle that hasteth to the prey. If I say I will forget my complaint, I will leave off my heaviness and comfort myself. I'm afraid of my sorrows. I know that thou wilt not hold me innocent. If I be wicked, why then labor I in vain? If I wash myself with snow's water and make my hands never so clean, yet shalt thou plunge me in the ditch, and my own clothes shall abhor me. For he is not a man as I am, that I should answer him, and we should come together in judgment. Neither is there any daysman betwixt us that might lay his hand upon us both. Let him take his rod away from me, and let not his fear terrify me. Thence would I speak and not fear him, but it is not so with me. Now, if you keep reading on, you're going to go back and forth, 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 back, forth and forth, over and over again. You know, hey, this happens, people. It happens. Sometimes righteous people go through things. It is what it is. How you know that? One thing about being righteous, I don't care what you are, you still ain't perfect. Because that's what Job just said. If I say I'm perfect, man, he'll show me perverse. I'm not perfect. You know, but I do try to do my best. And him being his best, God knew that he was righteous. He wasn't perfect. You know, most people think, well, Job was a perfect man. No, he was imperfect. He said it himself, he wasn't. But the argument was, you did something to cause this. But he didn't. That was the whole argument in regards to Job and his friends. Constantly, back and forth, all this time, over and over again. I'm on chapter 39 now. Good Lord. Look at all this stuff that they talk about. Wow. Constantly. But it comes to a point where Job want to hear from the Lord himself. And the Lord answered him. And the Lord answered him and told him about things he knew not about. You know, I did this before. I'm not going to go into the details in regards to that. He answered him and told him about things that he knew not about. Things that are too deep for him. And then towards the end, something happens. After all this bickering back and forth, no telling how long that went on. You understand? But he did ask for an audience with the Lord. And the Lord spoke with him. After all this complaining and reasoning and this and that, and he heard from the Lord. He might didn't hear what he wanted to hear, but he heard from him. God answered him. God will answer you. It may not be the way you want him to answer you, but the whole point of the story, his adversaries became his friends became his adversaries. They didn't help him, his wife. A lot of people turned on, oh, you brought this on yourself. You did this and that. And Job just wanted to hear from God, and he heard from him. And yet, He didn't tell him nothing. Nothing that can relate to his story. Let me pause and I will continue.